Well, it's good, but there's a few problems at the moment, but it's good.
Right. We should now be live. I'm just going to post the link to the group.
How long have you been married, Sean?
I'm not.
Are you not? Oh, okay.
Good man.
I was in a previous life, but as we're live, we won't go there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I made an assumption. I shouldn't do that.
I can appreciate, Nick. I'm a marriable-looking guy, am I?
Everybody calls me a newbie. Been married for like what, 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop that.
I think we need some sort of dramatic music playing in the background.
I could put some Depeche Mode on. I've even got the T-shirt on that Tom bought me, actually. I was going to show him that I do wear the T-shirt he gave me. I'm here to witness it.
Right, is anyone able to go to my channel quickly and just see whether we're actually
Yeah,
live?
we're live.
Yeah, we're live. I can see it all buttons. Live.
I've gone to your channel, we're live. Yep. 2 likes already.
Do you like that already, yeah?
One of them's
Right.
mine.
Alright, yeah, that's it. It's up on my screen now as well. So sorted. Alright, finally got there after a lot of messing around.
Yeah.
No names mentioned.
Right. Alright. If we give them about another 3 minutes just for people to jump in and then get on it properly, yeah?
Yep, that's fine.
Right. So. I think Tom needs my webcam for his laptop, on his laptop.
Oh, you've already pressed the link. Whoops.
So what about that
Alright.
weather today then?
Right, sweet. Well, get started then.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, happy days. Right. Yeah. So this is the first UK reselling group live chat. Hopefully, it's going to be a bit of a quicker setup next time from James. Yeah, we've got with us Wayne Lewis.
Hi, guys.
Wayne, are you with us still?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, guys.
Tom Flynn.
Hey, alright, how are you doing?
Sean Longley.
Hi everyone.
And of course, Nick Hills, who really doesn't need any introduction.
Oh, go on, give me an introduction. I feel left out.
We also have Nick Hills.
Hello.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just a bit of a hangout to try and get the UK community growing a bit more, guys. We've had a big increase on YouTube videos over on the group last week, including Tom Flynn. I know Wayne and Sean are fairly new as well, and Nick's been doing it for quite a while now. Yeah, guys, talk about reselling.
Drum roll. Okay, so sort of, how long has everyone been using eBay for?
I've been using it well, I started using it in, I'd say, late November, early December, just 2014. I've only really been getting into it big time for the last 2.5 months, maybe 3 at a push.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean?
Well, I started using eBay in 2002. Coincided with me getting my first digital camera, and that was like, that opened up the whole world to me. That did. So you know, back in the days, it was just as PayPal was coming in, and people didn't want to use PayPal because you had the fees to pay. So most people would pay by check. So you'd receive a check, you know, after a few days, wait for that for 10 days to bank, and then send the items out. So there was about, you know, a minimum sort of 2-week turnaround on items, and most of the sales were all auction. Actually, buy it now, in my use, you know, I never did it. It was just on auctions. So it's quite amazing how it's, you know, myself now, I rarely use auctions. It's all buy it now.
Yeah, similar story to me. I started using eBay in 1998, and then I went full time in 2002. And we've got an echo for some reason. Yeah, and we used to get paid a lot in checks. When we started the business full time, I used to get wadges of checks, and like you say, that was a pain in the neck because you'd have to go and bank it all and wait for that to clear in order to release stuff. And even we started, and PayPal didn't exist. It was BillPoint. I don't know if you remember BillPoint, Sean. A similar service.
No, I don't, mate. No, it's only, I think PayPal was just sort of rearing its head at that point when I started.
Been in 2001, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been quite a few years for me.
I've never heard of it before.
I've been using eBay for quite a few years, but obviously I'm quite young. I'm only 21 in August. So you know, about 5-6 years ago, obviously I used my my dad's eBay. But reselling wise, I've just obviously started doing it since maybe just before Christmas-ish, around that time, reselling. But actually, back about 5-6 years ago. 4-5-6 years ago, I don't know, when I was at school, I used to buy people's Yu-Gi-Oh cards and things like that, and I used to flog them on eBay. So I suppose that was reselling back then, but it was nothing serious. But I made a few extra bit of pocket money. I was like, Dad, can you just put these on eBay for me? I bought them, and you know, just do it for me, and I'd go buy more from the school. So I mean, I've had that mentality for quite a while, but only just recently started, you know, doing it seriously. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit like that when I was at school. I sort of dabbled in the used video games back then, doing a car boot every Sunday, buying and selling them. Stuff like the old Mega Drive games, SNES games, and all that. I think that's pretty much why I decided to give eBay a good crack, because I sort of bought and sold in the past and I enjoyed it. So I thought, why not give eBay a good crack? I've been on eBay now from 2000, I think. But obviously, I've only been buying and selling since around just before Christmas, about the same.
I think like the freedom you have with it is just amazing. I just really like the idea that it's not just, you know, the potential money you get from it. It's just the idea of being able to do what you want to do, experiment, and be creative.
What I like about it is
it's quite good.
Yeah, it's just, being able to work your own hours as well. I find that's the best part of it for me. Like the fact that I could sit up till 2 o'clock in the morning listing items, and I ain't got to worry about being up out the door for 9 o'clock to go start work somewhere else. I can get up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and just carry on listing items again. And yeah, it's nice knowing you ain't got to have to worry about someone having a go at you or losing your job for not getting there on time as well.
Yeah. Sniping during the night is like an absolute goldmine. Well, kind of. I mean, you can find some really good deals that are just ending at like 3 AM. So, yeah. So, like, probably one of the recent ones I got was a Nintendo DSi Lite. It was like box. It was like looked brand new. It was like new, and it came with like 4 or 5 games. It had the title Nintendo.
Ah, Tom's here.
Hi, Tom.
Hey,
Tom.
Tom.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Tom, can you hear us?
You've seen the hand.
Always the bridesmaid, ain't you, Tom?
Can't hear you guys at the moment.
Say something, Tom.
Tom the English Picker managed to join us as well, guys. So,
It's a bit on the muted side at the moment, though.
Tom, your mic's muted. Oh, it's on again.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom, Flynn, we interrupted you then. You were saying about
Sorry. So it was just a box DSi Lite with like 4 or 5 games, and it looked like new basically. And the box was in really good condition as well, everything. And I got it for a tenner on sniping. I think it was like £3.20 delivery or something, and then like £7, and I got it all for a tenner. I thought it was quite a good deal with it being boxed. So yeah, that's what I managed to get like 3 AM.
So do you just flip them round, or do you bundle them up as well, like with games and stuff?
I usually sort of just sell the console on its own, sort of boxed, and then sell the games separately. Unless you've got a couple of really crappy games, then just stick that in with them for free if they're not worth posting out, just individually.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't do so much sniping anymore. I don't really have the kind of headspace to think about it, but it's great for picking off these things that, like you say, finish in the middle of the night or at lunchtime or in the morning, because people don't appreciate that when you list on auction, which I used to do predominantly way back when, you need your items to end at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening when everybody's sat at home, like looking at their stuff. And ideally, it'd end at that time on a Saturday night or something, or Sunday night. But people just list stuff on auction that finishes at lunchtime or 3:30 in the afternoon. I mean, a sniper program, you can just set it up and it bids for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've had so many really good deals out of that, and then just put it straight back on eBay. Works really well.
The way I used to do a bit of sniping was on the buy it now's newly listed, but obviously with that you've got to be in front of the computer. But I used to buy a lot of football shirts and Blu-rays and things like that. That's another good way, because people, generally people are lazy, which is, to our benefit. Some people can't even be bothered to search completed listings to get a value of their items, can they? So they just, it's worth a tenner, so they stick it on, and you can just, if you're quick enough on the button, you can pick it up for that price and then flip it for sort of 30 or 40, whatever it is. But that's where the price disparity comes in the buy it nows when you're searching completed listings. You'll see, you can sort of pick out who the resellers are and who the sort of novices are.
I need to look. I need to look at that. Actually, that's quite interesting. I need to explore that a bit more, because mainly it's just bids now. I haven't done the buy it now newly listed thing, but it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way you do it is great. Obviously, you set your bids in and go, but then you'll probably, the chances are you're not the only person doing that at that time.
Oh no.
Whereas if you're flipping it and doing the buy it now and you're looking for people that just don't know the value of something, you're the only one who's going to get it because you're there on the button. But you do need to be in front of this in the computer and you're hitting the refresh button. But if you did that for half an hour on any chosen item, you'll be surprised what you could pick up.
That's what the that website that was advertised to the group not long ago does, isn't it? That Deny, basically it takes your keywords and then every 2 to 3 minutes it just lists any new items that it's found, all on a buy it now function and that, and then you literally can just click straight on the listing, go straight to it, and then buy it. So it saves you having to sit there, refresh the page and everything else. You can also enter in those different keywords to search for as well. Yeah, I've not actually bought anything off of there myself. Like, I'm more of I prefer going to the boot sales and the charity shops and stuff like that. But yeah, sniping is something that I want to try and get into at some point. But,
I think obviously, whilst we're in the car boot season, it's easy to go out and source it that way. But certainly when the nights start closing in a bit more, it's certainly worth having a look at like the sniping programs and maybe that bin eye, or if you've got the time, just sit there, and you'll be surprised. You could probably end up with as much stock doing that as you can go into the car boots. Yeah. Obviously the prices are going to be, even on a buy it now, you're going to be lucky to get everything at the prices you can pay them at a car boot. But it's certainly something people should be thinking to add to their repertoire of stock sourcing.
Yeah, one way I get some of my best is just searching like collection stuff, the stuff that is in your area, like job lots or whatever. So you're competing against very few people, because it's only people that A, are interested in that sort of stuff, and B, are within 20, 30 miles or whatever. And I've had some amazing deals just because it's local collection only.
Yeah, I had a great deal doing that, literally collection only. Someone basically was getting rid of a lot of Mills and Boons books, and it's basically like a romantic novel, female version of Socks or Fools, but it's basically. And the guy wanted he had 5 crates of them, and he wanted £5 a crate. And I said to him, like, are you willing to go lower and that? And he just turned around and said, no, I'll take 35 for the 5 crates, and then I'll just throw in the half a crate I've got left over for free. So I went and got them all, and I paid 35 quid basically for 5 crates and half a crate. And it was one nice quick listing. Like I counted all the books I was there, sold them in bundles of, I think it was 30 books for 17 quid, something like that. And they've gone, like they literally all sold within about a month and a half, and I ended up making about 150 to 160 pound profit on it all. So local collection is definitely one to, as Sean said, add to your repertoire.
Yeah, so that's something I've just started to do as well, as keep an eye on the local collections on eBay. And there's been a few bits I've seen, but I've just missed out, unfortunately. Definitely want to keep watching.
That's all. Can you hear us?
Comes back.
But is it?
Sort the lemons out.
Oh dear.
Is he with us? Are you there, Tom? Can you hear us?
No. Did anybody get out and source any stuff today? The weather was pretty wet here.
No, I did. I stayed in bed. It was nice and dry here. It didn't start raining until about 2 o'clock. It stopped raining now. It started at about 2 o'clock and finished about 3 where I am. But obviously, because of me library that I decided to collect the other day,
A full library. You could start up your own library and just charge people from all those books as well.
Don't have to post them.
I was saying to someone the other day, like, I should just open up a bookshop or open up a library.
Just ironically rent out the shop that's just closing down. Just put all the books back. Yeah.
Would have been easier. It's just an insane amount of books. I've already spoke to the fan man earlier on and said, like, are you alright to do it again tomorrow? And he's turned around and said, yes, I'm going back there tomorrow to try and get the rest of them. So I've got to try and somehow figure out how to store them all in the office and that without leaving them in the middle of the floor. Because that's where they are at the moment. I literally got them now, took them all up the stairs, stacked as much as I could on the shelves, and then the rest of it just got put in the middle of the floor for the time being. Yeah, it's going to be fun sorting them out, I reckon. But I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be FBA basically. I'm not going to keep them around me. I'm just going to scan them all. Any that are worth anything, I'm going to send off to FBA, and the rest I'll probably try and job lot on eBay. And if they don't sell, boot sale or something like that.
What's the deal then? How come the owners just gave it all away? You'd think they'd have just job lotted it themselves or something.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was talking to someone called Buddy earlier on from the Facebook group, Buddy Brown, and I just said to him, like, I'm surprised they didn't sell it off. At least I think it was Buddy I was talking to. But yeah, I said to him, like, I'm surprised they didn't just stick it up on eBay or something like that. I don't know. I literally don't know why they've just given it away. But I was walking through my high street one day, and I see like letters on their window painted in red paint, basically, just saying like free books, help yourself. So I've gone over there, had a look in there quickly, and my man bloke just said like, how many am I allowed to take? Thinking it's going to say one or two, and he just turned around to us and said like, mate, you can take as many as you want, like pull your transit up round the back if you want. So I said to him like, are you open tomorrow? I'll try and get a fan down here, and he said yeah, and yeah, I turned up there about 4 o'clock with the bloke with a fan, and literally he had about 10 people all standing there, and they ended up forming up like this chain link basically, where you had a load of them. It was literally like a chain. They literally just stood there passing the bags along to each other, throwing them into the back of the fan. The guy that I met the other day, the look on his face, I don't think he was expecting that many. So I think it was just a case of being in the right place at the right time, to be honest with you.
Was the van suspension just sort of dragging on the floor as you drove away?
But it did get to the point where the guy was like, look, I can't take no more because of the suspension and the weight and that. Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And like, obviously, if you've watched any of my videos, like I know you have, Nick, you've seen how big the office is that I've got in there.
Yeah.
It's not big at all. Like it's enough to store quite a few items, but it's crammed now. It really is. I've literally got enough space to open up the door and spin my desk, like my computer desk around and sit on it, and that's it. I can't get to my photography area or where the like listed stock is or anything like that at the moment. It's just crazy.
Have you had a chance to go through, you know, any of them yet?
No, not yet. When I was picking it up, I was having a quick look in some of the bags and that, and I see some kids' books, some cookery books, reference books, a few female books like romantic novels again and stuff like that. So, some atlases. There was just an absolute wide array of like different kinds of books and that. So, yeah, it should be fun going through it. I'm hoping like because I know some books can worth like a good 50, 60 quid upwards, can't they? So I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be a couple of diamonds in there, really, to be honest.
Ah, yeah, probably.
Very few and far between books that work. But yeah, I mean, the amount you've got, there's got to be something in there that will make you some money.
Yeah, well, I've literally got it all for free, bar paying the van driver to come there and pick it up for it. So
yeah.
Even if like I make £100 from the lot or something like that, it'd be worth doing because it's £100 that was going to go to Landfill and it was £100 that I didn't have. So.
Absolutely. Like I said to you when I commented on it, I admire people who have got the balls to do this sort of stuff. You know, see an opportunity and grab it, because that's all I've ever done.
Yeah,
you know, I've worked for myself. It's just a case of having the nerve to commit to something and do it, and I admire anyone who can do that. Whether it works or not, you know, you can look back and say, well, I did it and I tried, even if you don't make any money on it. I admire that.
I'd rather take the risk and know that I've taken the risk, even if I don't earn anything. At least I know that I tried it, and I can't really blame myself, because I could be sitting there like 3 weeks down the line thinking about it, like, was there anything that was worth anything in there, wasn't there, and
and I guarantee you will learn so much through doing this. You'll learn about FBA, you'll learn about books, you'll learn a whole load of stuff that you can make money off in the future on the back of it. It'll be worth doing whatever happens, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm looking forward to learning the FBA side of it. I know Tom Flynn does it, and also Tom the English Picker does FBA, doesn't he? And I've got a mate out in America who does FBA, and she was the one that basically told me about reselling. So I've gone to YouTube and started searching for resellers and stuff like that in the UK, and that's when I found the work channel. Before I've done that, she basically was showing me like through TeamViewer, like an app that shows you the other person's computer basically, and she logged into her Amazon account just to show me how it all like plays out and stuff like that, and the money that she was making from it completely changed her life. I mean, her other half had a computer cap, and he's completely changed it down, and he does FBA full time. What's Tom say? I can.
Oh yeah, he says I can hear you. Hello. Oh, just,
Hello!
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay!
Oh,
hello.
Sorry, guys.
drum roll.
Tom, we expected nothing less of you, mate.
Yeah, what can I say? Just unprofessional.
I just had my second cha-ching. I've just sold a Lego set for 15 quid.
I thought that was my phone. Gutted.
So how are you, Tom?
Yeah, pretty good. I just thought I'd wear my lucky jacket.
Oh, I'm wearing the Depeche Mode t-shirt, Tom, that you got me.
Cool.
Can you?
Yeah, I can just about hear you. Yeah.
So how did everyone find their sort of way onto YouTube? That's you know, for me, I was looking for some like IT support, and I found Tom's channel, and then the rest was history.
I'm the IT guy.
Funny. Oh, I'm gonna make everyone travel sick now. There we go. Yeah, IT isn't my strong point, shall we say. I've got a webcam ordered, so it should arrive soon. Got it from CEX with some trading credits, so we'll see how that goes.
That's something else I wanted to ask everyone about. Do you literally just sell online, or do you actually do tradings into shops like CEX and that? Because I know when the UK Reselling Group was just formed, there was some guy, I know Nick mentioned it in one of your videos actually, mate, about some guy who literally walked into game, bought a game that was there or something, and then walked into CEX and sold it for more.
Yeah, I've found a few deals over the years that you can do that. Joe Chris Pine flagged that one just before Christmas when they had the new Lego Batman game. They had on offer, 20 for 5. So we both went to all our local game stores. Yeah, we bought up all these Lego Batman games, took the figures out, and then took them all to CEX, and they were paying about 30 quid each. So we made about £5 on each game, and then sold the figures for a tenner each. And both Joe and I made hundreds in a couple of days on that.
Yeah.
You have to be really, really quick though on that sort of thing. I've done in the past, managed to get in on silly deals like through Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Play used to be a good one, and buy games when they either mispriced them or have a stupid sale, and CEX aren't aware of it. And then as soon as they turn up, you just chuck them all their way, or sell them on eBay if the margins are much bigger. But it's hard to get the timing right on that. It's not an easy thing to do.
I did something like that, like sort of quite a while ago. I didn't really take it seriously, but I went onto the Tesco clearance website, and they were selling, I think it's Lego Angry Birds or something. I think it was for the PS3 or Xbox 360, and I think they were selling for £3 or something. So I think about 20 of them. I went into CEX, and they were offering, I think it was either £5 cash or £6 cash, and I just traded it all into them. And you know, I recently checked on the CEX website. Well, you know, straight after I sold them to them, like a few days later, and they lowered the price of how much they're going to buy the game. So
yeah, they cotton on quite quick. When this Batman deal was going on, Joe and I were caning it, and then they cottoned on quite quick. And I drove to another game to do exactly the same thing. But luckily, I checked CEX's price before I cleared game out, and they had just cottoned on and reduced their price just before I spent about 400 quid in game on all of their stuff. So luckily, I realised that they'd cottoned on.
Yeah, because I was queuing while that happened, and I think it was you or Joe let me know that the price had changed, and I was there in game ready to get them as well.
Yeah, that was a fun few days. You, Joe, and I were texting each other, and trying to make a killing on it. It was good. I've still got some of the figures that are left over. I've got 4 or 5 left. These were the ones that Game had an exclusive on, so we were trading the game straight in and making about a £5 each on them. And then these silly things go for a tenner each. I've been selling them, most of them go abroad actually. And I had about 40 or 50 of those or so, and got a handful left.
Yeah, I've still got all the packaging.
Oh yeah.
Don't Don't know why I kept it.
So I've done a similar thing. It wasn't like with a new game, but I went to an auction, bought a load of stuff. I think I bought a bundle of like, PS3 games, Xbox 360 games, like 17 quid I paid all in all. Which looks straight on CEX, and it's like 80 quid's worth. And I priced them in the auction before the auction started. Up to my phone, it's like, oh yeah, 80 quid's worth. Yes, just in CEX alone, and nobody bidded on it. I was the only one bidded. One bid, 17 quid got them. I was like, nobody else got a phone to check the prices. You know what I mean? Just surprised, you know, auctioning like that. There's people there, and yet nobody was checking prices. Can you believe it?
Yeah, you were lucky there. When I've seen bundles like that at auction, people are just all over it.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, but I've never actually been to this one before. It's the first time I went to it. It was like a ex-catalogue clearance auction. So they can be a bit more trickier. Well, when nobody's bidding on them, I was like, well, I've checked these games. They was all okay, no splotches. All the PS3 games was actually still sealed. And I looked at my phone, it's like 80 quid is CX alone. It's like, why was nobody bidding? I'm bidding. So,
Yeah, around here that would have gone probably for about 80 or 100 quid. People are all over that sort of stuff. I've only really done well in an auction on specialist and niche stuff. One of the best deals I had was I bought a load of crates of books, but they were all books on trains, and they were like compendiums of train enthusiast magazines, all bound up in binders. There was like about a couple of decades worth of those, and I paid £10 a crate, and I was getting about £10 a binding on these books.
wow.
Nobody else seemed to know the value of them, so I made a killing on that. But yeah, I haven't done auctions for ages. Probably about a year ago was the last time I bought at auction, live auction.
So you have got to be careful with what you buy in an auction. If you ain't got your wits about you, can lose out quite badly in auction.
Yeah, well, you have to know about the VAT and the hammer price and all of this, all the extra fees.
Buyer's premiums and
That's the one. Yeah.
That's what
and also, that catches more people out is the VAT on top of the buyer's premium.
Yeah.
You know, they think, this already got VAT on, so it's VAT buyer's premium, but it's not. It's VAT buyer's premium, then VAT on top of the buyer's premium. You have got to be careful.
So what's one of your sort of best finds, let's say, like a car boot this season? Has anyone had like a real score?
I'd say for me, the best one at the last boot sale that I went to was I picked up a guns and timing gun for an engine, like for a car. The woman, like, I asked the woman how much she wanted for it, and she said £10. I tried getting her down to a £5, and she was like, "No, mate, I'm not having none of it." But at £10, I grabbed it and listed it. It sold the following Sunday for £70. The guy messaged us saying, "Can I come and collect it today? Cash on collection and that." So Angela said, "Yeah, mate, go for it." And literally half hour later, I had £70 in my pocket. He had his gun and left me feedback and everything like that. So £60 profit off of it. I'd say that's the best one I've had this year for boot sales so far.
Yeah. I remember seeing it on the group. That was a good sort of good haul, wasn't it? That was.
Yeah. Them ice skates as well, Sean. Did you see the ice skates in my last video?
Yeah.
They've both gone today, funnily enough, for 25 quid each. So £50 from a £10 investment.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. So what about everyone else? What's your greatest bargain from boot sale?
This season, actually got to thank Zahir for this. He was some of his videos about picking up electricals and things, used electricals, and I was just scrabbling around under this table, and there was an old Sony radio, just a normal 3-band radio. There was what I thought was at the time was I thought it was one of those timers, you set for your plugs and lights to come on. That's what it looked like to me initially. So it was brand new and sealed, so I picked that up. Then there was an old cassette deck. I can't remember what make it was. It was a quite smart looking, metal separate thing, hi-fi separate, and I basically ended up paying a £5 for about 4 or 5 items, and I took the cassette deck to my dad just to see whether it works because he's into his hi-fi buff, and he said, "Well, how much do you want for it?" And obviously I don't want to charge your dad crazy money, but again, you still got to make something. So I was going to list it on eBay for about 40 or 50, but I charged him 25, and he snapped my hand off. And then the thing I thought was a timer was actually for your water heater, your timing switch for your water and that. Sold that for 28 quid, and the stereo sold for 20 quid, but then promptly was returned because the person that bought it thought it didn't have a radio clock alarm function. But it wasn't a radio clock alarm. So anyway, I sorted that out, flipped it back around, and someone bought it within a day as well. So, and then I got decent feedback from that. So that was pretty good, and that was all really thanks to Sahir, because I probably wouldn't have bothered with it, because I'd have just seen some old stereo stuff or whatever and walked away from it. So that's probably the best sort of pound to pence price so far this year for me.
This season, I suppose that massive order of pin badges. I don't know if you saw that, but I bought, it's about 2,000 pin badges, and I don't know how much I'll get back on it. I recently showed I've been clearing the really bog standard stuff in lots of 100. I've got 3 lots of those. I sold the first one the same day I listed it for 30 quid. So when those 300 go, I'll be well in profit. And then all the really good stuff. It's going to take ages to sell, but there could be £1,000 in it. I don't know.
Cool.
Those OSPP ones, I've nearly sold all of those at £4 or £5 each. It's just easy money.
I think that's one of the other things that are really good about reselling, and that just the amount of money that you can make from it it's easy, isn't it? Really, you literally get up in the morning, go to a boot sale or a charity shop, go home, make a quick listing on eBay, and then when it sells, you've just quadrupled, even times your money 5 times. Like it's nice.
It is. I mean, on the face of it, it sounds ridiculously easy, and I think some people do get the wrong impression of how easy it is, because you still have to go out there and find the stuff. You have to put yourself in that position, and that's a lot of hard work. I've said this before, when I was actively finding stock last summer and I'd do a haul video, that didn't represent that I'd worked like 6 hours from 6 in the morning till lunchtime, and drove probably 50 miles around Hertfordshire and to find the stuff. And then, of course, I've got to list it all, and there's all that work involved. But yeah, in principle, it's bloody easy what we do, and some of the returns are insane. But yeah, there's a lot of work involved, and some people don't appreciate that.
Yeah, it's self-motivation, isn't it? Like finding the motivation to get up and do it yourself. Like as we were saying earlier on, one of the perks is not having anyone tell you what to do, but at the same time, that has the downside of you've got to tell yourself what to do. You're the one that's got to build up that motivation, get the energy to get the listings up, go out, find stock, package it, send it all off, deal with moody customers and everything else that comes with it, basically. So yeah, finding the self-motivation is one of the more harder parts I find.
Yeah, it's a constant battle for me.
I think it is for everyone, to be fair, because you can think, oh yeah, so I'll list that tomorrow. I'll list that tomorrow, but you still have bills to pay, and you do get it listed eventually, don't you? But I sort of agree with Nick. It's you see the haul videos, don't you? And there's obviously I started off seeing Nick's ones. I mean, they were quite big on some of them hauls last summer, yeah. And that's sort of what got me back into it, because it's some of the stuff was stuff I'd picked up, maybe not on that same scale, but a similar scale, and it sort of reignited my sort of spark for doing this, And I think that some of it is you're sort of, it's a natural thing inside you to better to wheel and deal. I think with YouTube now you can learn it, can't you? But you've still got to get up. And you've still got to go out, and even then you're not guaranteed to find the stuff, are you? We've all been to boot fairs where you've just missed that bit of gold, haven't you? You know, someone's just snapped up that haul of Lego or whatever it is, and you're kicking yourself, and you think, God, if I'd been there 2 minutes earlier. But by the flip of that is that when you do pick up that gold, you can guarantee that there's someone's behind you going, oh, damn it, I missed it by 2 minutes. That fat bloke got it again. And it's that kind of mentality, you know. You've got to. I think it's perhaps glamorized, not by anyone here, but perhaps, yeah, the impression could be that, oh, it's easy. You know, anyone can do that, but it's not easy. You know, you do have to get up and get out, and even then, you're not guaranteed to find the stuff, are you? So that's the thing. And you know, we've seen in the reseller group, there's people come and go, don't they? You know, it's I think you're sort of born with that desire to go and make the money and find the bargains, and personally, I think I'm basically unemployable now. I don't think I would take any. I couldn't be employed and be told what to do now. And my sort of previous full-time job was working retail, and my managers didn't like me one bit. They were quite happy when I left. I wasn't sad, by the way. But yeah, I think it's definitely mindset. You've just got to get up and get out there, and there will be car boots that you think are massive, and you're going to kill it, and you'll come away with nothing. You know. And again, by the flip of that, you'll turn up to a little car boot, and there'll be about 10 stalls there, and you think, oh, I ain't worth my time. And then there'll just be one stall that's filled up with gold. You know, you'll have a really good haul. So that's what I quite like, the unpredictability and that sort of excitement you get when you rock up to a car boot. You never know what you're going to get.
I love the little like school tabletop sales, little church fair, you know, where there might be 6 stalls in a little hall somewhere. And most of the dealers aren't aware of it because it wasn't promoted and it's not a regular thing. And you turn up and you've just got free reign of all this stuff, and it's all genuine sellers with their kids just selling off all their stuff. Yeah. I've had some of my best days just wandering around a church hall, filling the back of the car up. And it's, yeah, sometimes at boot sales you suffer from being there with all the other dealers that we all see on a regular basis. And you do, I agree totally, Sean, that some days you turn up and it feels like you're just one step behind a dealer every stall. And other days you're that dealer that's pissing everyone else off. You just miss it, and that can be frustrating. And of course, if you're full-time doing this, going back to what we're saying about the joy of this is the freedom to do what you want and the freedom to be your own boss. That is also what is the hard thing about this. Every problem is my problem. I mean, now we've set up this new business, we're in cash flow hell, you know, and it's bloody stressful. But I'm still in control of my destiny. It's my decision to do this, and I control it. But every problem we have, every issue we have, I can't tell my line manager to deal with it. I can't fob it off to someone else. I deal with every single problem I have on a daily basis. So, but I have the freedom to be in control as well.
I think it's always difficult as well if you go to a car boot sale with another reseller. For example, like when I went with Nick, it was difficult because he was trying to outpace me and beat me to the deals. He went one way, I went the other, and I was looking at, oh, what's he picking up? Yeah.
Have you done that when you're at car boot and you see one of your competitors and they're stood at stall, you're both going down the same way, and they're stood at stall getting something, so you rush ahead of them to get ahead of them?
Yeah, definitely.
Or you change direction and go back the other way.
I heard about that that happens in America, where we're like, you know, like these big neighborhood garage sort of sales. Yeah. And you get people sort of running ahead houses, you know, running three houses ahead, and in America they're quite big houses, so you got them just sort of pacing ahead. And they were talking about that story on like one of the I think it's Picking Profits, if anybody watches any of the American people. Yeah, they were talking about that. Yeah, but instead of just like, you know, little car boots with a stall, it's literally just full houses that they're running ahead. It's crazy. Yeah.
I kind of wish we had that garage sale mentality over here. That would be really cool. I know I've got family who live up near Bury St Edmunds, and there's a village there where one weekend a year they have like that village. They call it a stall trail or something, and basically everybody who's involved gets their house on this little map, and they all put a stall out, and then everyone's given a little map, and you go around all of these houses in the village, and everyone does it the same weekend. So it's like a giant car boot sale, organised from one sort of central place, and it's really cool. I'm planning to go up there this summer when they do it. I was thinking of trying to get something off the ground like that in Hitchin, but I've got too many other things to deal with to start that. But yeah, I think that culture is really cool because, you know, you don't have to pay to have a stall, and you know, it's great, a great way to clear your stuff, and a great way for us dealers to find it, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're called garage safaris. We have a few around here. There's a couple of villages that have them. So I haven't actually been to one yet, but I think we have them a couple of times a year. One of the local villages have them, and I know a few people have gone and picked up some good sort of treasures and things. So and it's easier for people that want to clear the decks as well, because they're doing it in their own home, aren't they? Well, you know, in their yard or whatever. So you're probably more likely to get a bit more stuff there as well. But it's a good way of getting new stock and stuff, isn't it? Or perhaps stuff that people wouldn't necessarily take to a car boot sale because they can't be bothered.
Yeah, I had a great score at a garage sale. This family were literally moving out, so they were everything they didn't want to take with them was out on their driveway. And I only found it. It was in Nebworth. I was going to see my parents. I was driving through Nebworth, which is near us, and I saw this sign saying garage sale, and they were literally packing up. And they were at the point where it's everything's going to the tip sort of thing. So I knew whatever I offered, they'd take. And I bought a collection of vinyl. It was about 200 vinyl records for £5, a set of brass weights for £1, various other things. The brass weights I got about 30 quid on. And the vinyl, I picked out a handful that were worth selling and got about £5 each on those. And then the rest of it I just put on as a job lot, and I think I got 50 odd quid for that. That was about 5 minutes on this person's drive. I don't see, there's not many people around here do garage sales. It's just not the damn thing around here.
It's more of an American thing, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that at the car boot, Nick, or anybody, where just stuff's free? Because I've seen it before where there's been a dealer that's had like a load of books, and they just took the table out, left all the books on the floor and drove off, and just left this huge pile of books. So I got car, pulled it in, and literally filled my car so full it was scraping the wheel arches full of books. And most of them were utter rubbish, but the rest of them I weighed in for paper pulp, which is nothing, but still, I probably made about 50, 60 quid off that. And it was like a feeding frenzy because everyone else was diving in and grabbing books. And before that point, nobody cared, but as soon as it was free, it was like a feeding frenzy.
Funny enough, that happened today. There's somebody drove off, left all the stuff, and everybody was just all in it. I managed to grab a gas regulator and a set of brand new brakes for a smart car.
That'd be worth something, wouldn't they?
Well, I'm on my website. They've been used, so if I get 20 quid for them, it's do 20 quid for nothing, ain't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I've played something similar like that, not at a boot sale though. I was driving to my mates one day, and as I've gone to turn into their turning, I see a big skip on someone's driveway, and like I see golf clubs and clothes and everything sitting in there, and they'd hung a sign up basically saying "free stuff, help yourself." So I've pulled over, had a quick look in, gone back to my mates, grabbed him and his 2 kids and dragged them around there and just jumped straight into the skip. And he pulled out like an Xbox 360 controller, a laptop, some bags and stuff like that. And I've literally just jumped straight into the skip standing in the centre, and I've pulled out a load of designer named bags. And the guys basically come out and said, like, we're moving to Australia next week, so anything you don't take, we're going to go throw and skip. And he's gone back in, and then 5 minutes later, he's come back out with a box full of all these padlocks still sealed. And he's turned around to us and gone like, do you want these, mate? And I thought I'd get a £5 each per padlock. And I basically listed it on eBay, got 15 quid per padlock. There was 10 padlocks. So it's literally just given me 150 quid for free. I couldn't believe my luck. Again, it was one of them ones being in the right place at the right time.
It's shocking what people throw away. I follow a woman who lives in, I think it's Chicago, and her YouTube name is Mum the eBayer. I think it's Mom as in M-O-M. Mom the eBayer, and she goes what they call dumpster diving around Chicago, and the stuff she finds is unbelievable. Like boxes of jewelry and stuff, and makeup that's untouched, and like you said, designer bags, shoes, all of this stuff. She sticks it on eBay, and she makes a load of money out of it. And she literally just goes around on bin day and goes through the bins and pulls out the stuff. And the stuff people throw away is just unbelievable. It's just nuts. There's a few people that do it in America and have channels where they do dumpster diving. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but it's just amazing to watch. Really amazing.
It's illegal over in the UK, though, isn't it? You're not allowed to go through someone else's rubbish, or not allowed to dive into anyone's thing without their permission. It's classed as theft through. I can't remember what it's called now. I mean, my mate's a bin man, and he was telling us the other day he's not allowed to take nothing out of their bins because it's against the law, and he can get prosecuted for it.
I think that's sad because if somebody can make use of something, or somebody can recycle something, or sell it, or whatever. What's the harm in that? But yeah, I think technically it is illegal.
Yeah, it is for tips as well.
Go on, Tom.
I was just gonna, I was just going to say, at tips as well, I've been to the local, rubbish tip before and seen like really nice bikes going in there, and the guys who work there are just going to take it home at the end of the day. And like nice TVs, stuff like that, and it's massive sign saying you can't take anything. It's really cringeworthy.
It's funny you said that, Tom, because the local tip by me, they actually do sell the stuff at their tip. Now, I've had some really cracking buys. A few months ago, I picked up a DVD box set, which was specially made for children. It's called the box money or something. I bought that. There's a load of brand new energy bulbs. What else? I don't know. I must have picked up about 10 items. And he said, give us a quid. So I paid a quid. DVD box set I sold last week for 69 quid.
Sure.
So,
nice.
I'm just lucky that I live somewhere where my local tip is privately run. So they will actually got a section where you can actually buy stuff off. And I think the thing is now it's getting a bit known because more and more people is turning up, like dealers and that, now to it. But there is you can pick up some really good stuff. I've had some really cracking buys from it.
There's a shop now at one of our local tips that I went in, and it was just real worthless rubbish. But one time I was up there, there was a guy with a big transit van just putting tons and tons of quality stuff in the back of his van. Loads of like hi-fi separates and mountain bikes and all sorts of stuff. I assume he was giving them a backhander or he had some deal with the council, but he was just filling his van with hundreds of pounds worth of stuff. And in the shop, the so-called shop there, was just tat that wasn't worth anything. So, yeah, I think it's who you know at those places, I'm sure.
Yeah, because there is a guy here, he's got a van and they bring stuff out this container and goes into his van, and nobody else can get a look in. So he must have some sort of deal going. So I think you're right.
But it is amazing what people take to the tip. I mean, I've used the tip myself, and you go there, and there's always someone throwing stuff away, and you're thinking, oh, you want to go up to them and just say, I'll take that off your hands, but you just feel like an idiot, so you don't. But yeah, people will throw anything away. It's crazy. When we used to have the gaming shop, for those of you that don't know, I used to have essentially a CEX shop that I ran for 8 years. So we'd trade in computer consoles, CDs, DVDs, the whole lot. And the amount of times people would come up to me and look in the cabinets and go, oh, you sell Sega Mega Drives and Nintendo NESs? I said, yeah, we buy them. They said, oh, I threw one in the bin last week. The amount of times I've heard people say to me, what, you would have paid me for a Super Nintendo? What about the games? Oh, yeah. Oh, I threw loads of them away last week. The amount of times I've heard that is ridiculous. But people just don't know the value of stuff.
Yeah.
That's something you've set up, isn't it, Tom? Like Tom Flynn, you've posted an ad on Gumtree, haven't you? Asking for any retro games and stuff like that.
Yeah, just wanted ads on any local Facebook pages, Gumtree and stuff like that. I was thinking of doing like something else, be a little bit creative, but I think you probably needed some kind of license for it. I don't understand, but I want to, I don't know, like go leafleting and just post some leaflets with a phone number if you've sort of got anything and then have a list of things. If you've got any of this, you know, feel free to give us a call and might buy it. But I think you probably need some kind of license.
You don't
Try
need
putting an ad in your local newsagent or something.
Hmm.
You can do door to door, mate. There's no licensing or laws about it.
Oh, isn't there? Okay. So I was thinking just get the
Some cars and stuff you can get done for. Don't ever do that where you put it under the
Oh
windscreen.
no. Just sort of through
Through the
you know,
door.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
go.
be prepared for some creepy phone calls, though.
Be prepared to be offered loads of crap, and also be prepared to be offered stuff at ridiculous prices.
Yeah.
Like,
I had that the
right.
other day. I had that the other day actually. I put up an ad on Gumtree saying wanting sort of PS1 retro consoles, etc. Guy came to me. He had like 10, 15 games with it, but he had a boxed PS1 and then one that was unboxed. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm quite interested in that. And he said, I asked him how much you want, and he says he doesn't know. So I said, you know, just tell me what you're thinking, and he said £200, and I was like, well, I'm not even going to negotiate. I'm not going to negotiate with that. I'm not even going to message him back. So ever since then, I've just deleted his number. I did not reply back to that. It's not even worthy of a reply. So I just left it. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I don't know if he was joking or was actually being serious, but like seriously.
It's like when you put an item up on eBay for £50 and you get a best offer come through for £5. I don't bother replying to them. I just decline it and block the buyer straight away. Like, it's not worth your time, is it? Really, you can just tell the person's not interested in staying by the real prices and that. They're just trying to make as much as they can off something that's worth nothing.
Yeah, I had an offer of a £5 last night. I've cleared all of my old junk media stock. I'd sent a load to Music Magpie. Well, it's in the video I did the other day. And what I had left was a crate full of media stock. It's really old tat. The condition's bad. I just stuck it on eBay. 30 quid for 100 albums, a load of DVDs, a load of box sets, stuff that I can't shift. But somebody, if they want to spend the time at boot sales or market stall, they'll have fun with it. Put it on at 30 quid, and somebody offered me £5. It's like, really?
Was it free postage as well? Or did you add postage on top of that?
No, it's collection only. I'm not messing. It weighs about 20 kilos or something. So yeah, local collection, cash in hand. Get rid of it.
I've had that before. I've had a £10 offer on a £100 item, and the person's justification is that's all I can pay at the moment until I get my working tax credits next week. Crazy.
I'm just reading through some of the comments on YouTube, and Terry Hawkins turned around and said, no, not Terry Hawkins, sorry, I can't find the question now. Successful Loser 1, that's the one. He's turned around and said, what do you do for self-motivation? Because he's not sold anything for the last week and a half, roughly. And he's just basically after some tips on how to motivate yourself. Anyone got any useful suggestions for him?
He needs to be having daily activity on his account. Even if it's just tweaking a price, a penny up or a penny down, swapping a couple of pictures around. You've got to have that daily activity on your eBay account.
Definitely.
Other than that, I mean, the big motivation is watching the videos. It can be done, but as we've said previously, it's not easy. It might look easy, and like Nick said, you see these big haul videos and you think you're going to get that every boot fair, but obviously that's only half the battle, isn't it? It's fine picking up the bargains, but you've got to sell them, haven't you? And there's lots of discussions about where eBay's heading and things, but at the end of the day, there's things you can do, adding 3 pictures, a minimum of 3 pictures, using keywords. It's getting more like that. Whereas back in the day, you could just throw a listing up. You didn't have to fill all the item descriptions and things. You just threw it up on eBay and it sold. Well, it's getting a bit more, that Cassini thing now. You've got to use your search words and things. But definitely daily activity on your account. And if things aren't going quite as you hoped, my last week hasn't been particularly great, but you just got to keep ploughing through and keep watching the videos and keep in contact with people. That's because it can be quite lonely, isn't it? I think Nick's mentioned before. You think you're the only person in the world, and then you find YouTube, and then we found the Resellers Group, and it's a really good group, isn't it? It's a lot of positivity and there's no negativity seeping in, is it? It's just good.
Everyone else.
I thought it was me and Tom doing this. I thought me and Tom weird nutters.
And it turns out you're all a bunch of weirdos, so that's fine.
Yes, but Tom, some are weirder than others.
Yeah. And I've got the photos of Nick to prove it, but they won't be seen the light of day.
The footage, when Tom and I went out that night, I had about 5 seconds of footage that was broadcastable. I don't know how much Tom had. I've deleted it now, Tom, so don't panic. But
I've still got the footage of by the skips at the hospital and
man.
And you falling into a bush.
What was it? Like a portable toilet, wasn't it, Tom?
It was a wheelchair with like a commode underneath.
Yeah, so we were riding it down the roads.
It was legitimately, it was being thrown away because one of the arms was broken. But Nick decided to toboggan with it and ended up in a hedge.
That was good fun. I was so ill, seriously, Tom, for about 2 days after that.
Yeah,
I don't know how we put that video together the next morning. We just sat there like that.
I'll be honest, Tom, you did look like you was ready to head to the toilet when I watched that video. You looked like you was ready. Oh, mate, yeah. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, rough. But yeah, hopefully if we do sort out our resellers meetup, it probably won't be as messy because the 3-day hangover was not a good thing for business.
I've got a party like that coming up soon. One of my mates is just been accepted into the army, so he's going away in the middle of September. And I got a text message off him earlier on saying that he's having a party at the beginning of September, so I want to come. And this guy, he does like to drink, and the last few parties that I've gone to, it's always ended up with me looking after him while he's hugging the toilet. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah. That's the problem, really, because like going out and stuff, Friday, Saturday nights, I'm doing less and less of it because I don't want to miss the car boots on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, so it is always a bit of a quandary with that.
Terry Hawkins has just turned around and said, "Tom, sell the footage of eBay on, sell the footage of Nick on eBay even."
That is a good one. Yeah, not thought about that. In fact, I think I've got it here. I might do a bit of a preview, teaser trailer.
I've never seen it, so go on, show us, Tom.
I'm not going to try because you know me with technical issues.
Oh dear.
So what's this FBA thing like then, Tom?
Good, but a ball leg is the best. It's all right, but you've got to be like silly organised, which I'm not. But yeah, it is good, definitely.
Is it mainly books as well with you?
Yeah. When you were going to say, when you were saying earlier about the best 2 finds, probably my best 2 finds this year are books which I've then sold through FBA. One I sold recently, which was a book I paid 50p for about cat breeding, and I paid 50p for it, and it sold for £89. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
And then another book was I paid £1 for it, and it was the history of servicing vacuum cleaners, and that went to a museum in Geneva, Switzerland, and that sold for £140. But
Must have been a popular museum.
yeah, it was thrilling read.
So where do you source most of your book? I mean, Do you mind me asking how many sort of
No,
got on FBA?
yeah, car boots mostly.
Yeah.
Just look at the car boots. I do look at the charity shops, but they're often rubbish. But yeah, just car boots, and I got most of the books from a house clearance that I did.
I saw
For
the
sort of,
video.
yeah, and that was, I mean, that was like, oh, that was over 5,000 books,
Cool.
and I'm selling them on a sort of a commission basis for them, so they're getting a portion of the profits. So that sort of gave me the kick up the arse to really try FBA because I was doing merchant fulfilled before that point, and you've really got to have a good amount of stock to really make it worthwhile with the fees and the storage fees and all that.
Yeah, it sounds with FBA, it's something you can't. Well, the way I see it is you really have to throw yourself in it to make it worthwhile, and I don't know. That's kind of why I'm still on the fence, because depending on where our new business goes, this may all be history for me in 6 months to a year. And if I go FBA, I'm going to want to, really go for it and throw a load of stuff up there, and then, I know it'll be out of my hands then, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
Yeah, I think for you, Nick, at the moment where you're at, it's probably not a good fit. Maybe later down the line, because then stuff can be selling while you're in the shop. It's maybe a better fit. But really, I mean, I pretty much gave up eBay for 6 months. I went from sort of 500-600 listings down to at one point near on 100 listings, just because I wasn't listing anything, because I was just constantly, doing FBA.
Yeah, I'm only just getting my count going again, really. Back up to a couple of hundreds, or maybe over. But just that 2 month period when I was shop fitting, my sales just plummeted as fast as you like, because I wasn't putting new stock on. But it's now getting up to a good level. I had another cha-ching, which was that box of badges, but they just went for 30 quid, so that's cool. So that's 3 sales.
Cool.
Right. Flynn, you do FBA, didn't you?
Yeah, like I'm just sort of beginning it. But with me, it's like what I really sort of send in is just mainly video game stuff, which sells like hotcakes. On eBay they do as well, but on FBA they go like really fast.
How many?
I haven't got much. I've got maybe about 80, which is like mostly video games. But I can source easily 50 to 100 a week video games. I could probably do more, but obviously capital. So I just send all them in. I'm just sort of building up a process with that, because you don't have to, for video games you don't have to do much. Like, I mean, you've got to make sure the conditions as described and everything. But for the labelling, I pay the extra 15p for them to label it for me. So just sort of after that, I just sort of stick it in a box, and then the UPS guy comes to your house and off you go. So I mean, it's just another avenue that I'm trying to make a little bit of extra from. It's not going to be my main avenue, probably still will be eBay, but it's just something else I'm trying to build up. It's always good to have 2 different things maybe. So that's why I'm trying to sort of branch out a little bit in a way, even though I'm still a beginner. But I think it's always good to do that.
Are you finding that you can demand a higher price because you're FBA?
Absolutely. It's not much really, but for I think it's Fallout 3, I managed to sell it. I think it was for $9.99 FBA. I think it was that game. I'm not 100% sure. But after fees, I got £7.20. But CEX was selling that very game, for £6. They were buying it for 3, selling it for 6. So it's like on some of the items, I'm able to sell it more than CX are trying to sell their games for, because on FBA, especially video games, there is barely any competition. Like literally, like there'll be like maybe 1 or 2 other FBA sellers on the most popular titles, and then barely any on others. It's insane how like the lack of FBA in the UK, but in America it's getting really competitive now. So it's a smart time to do FBA right now, because if you're the first people in it, you can demand a premium price. But when more people start getting into it more, the prices are going to go down a little bit. So.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. I think though, my main word of advice is if you're going to do FBA, choose the best possible quality products. Don't send crap in, because That's what I did initially, and I just got myself in a lot of bother. Send books which almost look new, send stuff that's new and sealed, and you won't go wrong, really.
So, Tom, with your video games, it's any sort of game, whether it's retro or modern or whatever, it's just, obviously you're checking, scanning the prices.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly concentrate on stuff that's got barcodes and stuff like that. I know some people do send in, like, you know, like Mega Drive games and all sorts of stuff like that. But I don't currently, because I find that I've had a few returns because people are idiots and don't necessarily, they want the fantasy of buying a Mega Drive and all that and buy all these games, and then they're not used to the technology. So I don't know. They sort of they'll buy, say, an N64 game which they'll need a jumper pack and they haven't got one and they don't know why, and so I tend to focus on PlayStation 2. I don't do PlayStation 1 very much because the cases just break instantly. So PlayStation 2, original Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii stuff, really, and some DS stuff.
Yeah. How about other Tom?
It's mainly at the minute it's PS3, Xbox 360 games. The stuff that's just going to sell pretty much almost instantly. And I've sent in some PS1 games, but yeah, they can easily break the cases. But within the notes thing, I just sort of put the condition note, and I've sort of put it in capital letters. If there's something wrong with it, I make it highly visible, just so it sort of tries to minimise any returns. But yeah, recently I put up a Crash Bandicoot game. I can't remember which game it is again, but basically it was going considerably more on FBA than it is on sort of eBay, like literally by like £10 or £15. So it's just a no-brainer for me to put that on FBA rather than put it on eBay. So you just got to pick and choose which items, really.
Do you use a scanner app while you're out and about to check prices, or do you not go for that?
Well, most of my sourcing's online. Literally, like I source probably like 80% of my stuff online, whether it's Gumtree putting out wanted ads or stuff like that. So I don't really source any video games in charity shops. I think just the other day someone put up a picture of FIFA 10 for £5. So
that was me.
That was fun.
Yeah, I bought both copies. I can sell them on FBA for £17 each. No, I'm checking.
So no, I don't bother. Plus, where I sort of live, it's very the signal is shit. Like seriously, it's like it's in an area where it's sort of a retired area. It's like a little small town, really historic town, and just they're behind the times by like 50 years. So for me, it's checking things up on my phone when I'm out and about in the charity shops in my local town is almost impossible. So sometimes I just write in a notepad what there is there, and then I'll sort of go to the Tesco, use their Wi-Fi, check the prices, and then go back to the charity shop.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem with the scanning apps. I found myself very reliant on them. So I'll go to somewhere and I haven't got 3G signal, or my phone will run out of battery, and I'm freaking out because I don't know what stuff's worth. And I think that if you can trust your gut more, like you guys do, and know stuff, I think that's better, because also sometimes the scanning app's wrong as well. There's a couple of times where I bought stuff, I've got home, looked it up, and there's a similar listing which the app's picked up where they've just got one person who's selling it for some crazy price.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem with the scanning apps. I found myself very reliant on them. So,
I haven't got 2 Toms a week.
Someone got their YouTube video.
What's going on?
It's something.
It's the ghost of Tom.
He's making up for the 20 minutes he missed.
Yeah, that normally happens when someone's got another feed open, and it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not me.
"40 games on Mega Drive," Terry Hawkins has got. Well,
You do have to watch out as well, because I've been hit with Amazon. I'll show you it if it comes out. It's this thing. It's a PlayStation 3 controller. It's called a Double Shock. And I sent this into FBA, and I got a copyright infringement violation from Sony, because it's not a knockoff, but I mean, it basically looks like a PlayStation 3 controller without the Sony logo. But there was another Amazon seller on there based in China selling these, and they're still selling them. So, you know, I got it kicked off Amazon, and then they basically fine you for it, and then I had to pay to have it returned to myself as well. So you really got to be
how much
careful.
did they fine you for that?
It was only like, because I had 3 of them, so it was a couple of pounds per unit. But yeah, not good.
So which would you say is more sort of strict? Would you say it's eBay or Amazon?
Oh, Amazon, definitely.
Amazon.
But the weird thing is, I got these sent back, and I put them on eBay, and they got kicked off on eBay as well. So, who knows? So I took them into CEX, and they gave me £4 each for them, but I kept one for myself. Crazy.
I've just had a question sent over to us from Lee over on the Facebook group saying, do you think the Xbox 360 games are going to rise more now that they're able to be played on the Xbox One?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably going to be more demand for them. Is it?
Yeah.
Are they bringing out the? Is it just like a software update they're doing on the Xbox One, or are they bringing out more games, like bringing out more games, or do the old games going to play on the Xbox One? Do you know what I mean? Or are they just bringing out?
I think it's going to be a software update. Yeah, starting from December, the Xbox One will allow you to play Xbox 360 games. So I assume it's going to be for all the old school games as well.
Right, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there'll be a high in demand, especially for you want to look out sort of for the Halo and Call of Duty titles, because they're going to just blow up in price, because just look at the obviously the top selling games that they're going to allow you to play on the Xbox One, that they're all going to be going up in demand. Depends how much e-stock have in stock. E-stocks from eBay. Depends how many they have in stock and how much they lower the price and saturate the market, really.
It's a really good thing for resellers, because it means that those games will maintain their value for much longer than they would have done.
Yeah.
And the games that people want to go back to will just find their mark and pretty much stay there now, whereas they weren't dropping off. But yeah, it's a fantastic thing for resellers. But Microsoft really screwed up, because when they launched that new console and they said we're not going to do backwards compatibility, everyone just jumped ship. And now Sony is so far ahead in the current console race, and now they're backtracking completely because they're desperate, because they're losing a fortune to Sony. So they've backtracked and put it in.
Yeah. I've just had a message off of Lee again saying it's not going to be all titles, it's just going to be certain titles that are going to be announced at the E3 things are.
Yeah.
I think it's certain titles that's being enabled by the developers.
Yeah. They're like software patches, and they've got to get the developers' permission in order to do it with a game, apparently. And some of the developers have ceased trading and whatnot, so I think it's going to be like the Halos and stuff like that. Really.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be a bit of a minefield. But it was a similar thing with Xbox 360's backwards compatibility. You used to have to download patches and whatever for that, didn't you? And that was a minefield. They should have just made it a hardware thing when they launched the console, to keep all of their existing 360 owners, on side. But they just really screwed it up.
Does anybody remember as well, when the Xbox One was coming out, they originally said that the games were only going to be able to be played once, like, PC
On one
games
console, yeah.
on one console, and then you wouldn't be able to sell it on. I mean, when I heard that, I thought, God, there's a complete eBay market. It's just going to get slaughtered with that sort of.
Yeah, that was a PR disaster as well. Whoever was in charge of that console launch just needs firing. They were useless.
Yeah, it was
Really
terrible. Yeah, I've still got an Xbox One, but still, it was terrible. It was terrible.
I've got an
Okay.
Xbox One, but I've never taken it out of the box. It's still sealed. I'm sticking with a 360 for now.
I gave me Xbox 360 to one of my ex-girlfriends for Christmas. I'm not really a console gamer. I'm more of a PC gamer.
Yeah, I'm on more PC as well.
Well, here's another question. How many Xbox 360s have you seen at the car boot which have no power cables, no controllers, and are probably victims of the red ring of death?
Every single
Those
boot.
Single boot cell, yeah.
Going back quite a few years, I used to buy them all up. I used to buy all of them, if they were the right price, obviously, and I'd stick them on eBay, and people would snap them up. They've completely lost their value now, but for a while, if they were like £5, I'd snap it up, and they'd sell, I don't know what they were selling for, 20 to 30 quid. People who could repair their red ring of death. And I'd turn loads of them over, but I just don't even look at them now.
No.
It's not worth the money anymore. When I used to live up in Leeds, and I used to do that. I used to get all the red ring of death Xboxes and that, and fix them. Because all you need to do is basically just reflow the solder balls and that. And no, it's just not worth the time and money, like to buy them off of eBay in job lots, fix them, and then sell them on again, because they've just lost so much value. It's because the Xbox One and the PS4 and that coming out, the price has just plummeted on them.
Yeah. I used to be a big console gamer, but I'm a Nintendo fan, so the only thing I play now is Wii U. Probably the only person who plays on it.
I've actually got that playing Mario, and that's about it.
Mario Kart is amazing. The online 12-player, oh my god. It's seriously the best game ever.
There we go. You need a Twitch channel for the resellers. No.
I'm about as technically minded as you, Tom. Can you imagine me streaming live over the internet? It's not I mean, it amazes me that I have a YouTube channel, and I do this sort of thing. It's I'm not a technically minded person at all. Yet I run a business on the internet. Who knew?
Here's the question for you from Terry Hawkins again. Do you ever have people insulting you for doing this, like calling you a holder or something like that, going for a bin and that?
Who's that for? For me?
Anyone.
Well, I don't really go through bins, but...
No, like skip diving and stuff like that.
No, I've not really had any grief. I've had a couple of incidents at boot sales where people have refused to sell to me because I'm a dealer.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, I get grief all the time.
But I've had people turn around to me and say, "Are you going to get a real job?" Like when I turn around to them and say that I've started reselling and that, and explain what it consists of and stuff like that, the first words out of their mouth is, "That's not a real job. When you're going to get a real job?" And like I try to explain to them like what we were talking about earlier on, the amount of time and dedication and that it takes to go out buying it and stuff like that. But to some people, I just think it's their mentality. They can't understand the concept of going out, buying something, sticking it on eBay and making a living from it, basically.
It's just a stigma because it's second-hand stuff. There's a stigma about it, isn't there? That it's very sort of bellboyish. It's very sort of people think that, I don't know, it's kind of dirty in a way, or it's very underhand. Because effectively, we're taking advantage of people who don't know the value of their stuff, and we buy it off them, and we make money on the back of it. But that's all retail is. That's all Tesco do. That's all any retailer does. They buy stuff wholesale for £1 and sell it to you for £5. That's perfectly acceptable. When we do the same thing, people frown on it because it seems to be underhand and a bit dodgy, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's been going on since the dawn of time. It's just trading. That's all it is.
I agree. I think when people think, oh, you know, you're taking advantage of people, you're not, are you? You're giving them the price that they're happy to receive, you know.
Exactly. We're doing, as Nick said, we're doing the same as every other shop out there. We're going out buying something low and selling it on higher. Like Asda's do it, Tesco do it. Every shop does it. We don't have the big store name and the big store front or anything like that. Well, except Nick, but yeah.
Yeah, I've had more grief at car boots, I think. Almost like a sort of a hatred, either from collectors, other collectors, like you're inhibiting them, especially computer games collectors, you're stopping them from getting, you know, adding to their collection and whatnot. Or sort of older sellers at car boots who kind of treat me like I don't know, like I'm peddling drugs or something. Weird, sort of like what I'm doing is almost like stealing from them. It's a funny vibe I occasionally get.
Yeah, I think with it as well, it's not necessarily even seasoned buyers, it's sellers. It's people just do have a natural hatred of you know, us sort of traders, don't they? You know, you can walk past the store and they say, "Oh, that bloke was a trader. He bought them for whatever amount." But people need to remember that, you know, I've said it in the group, is that without us, you know, we go and buy someone's job lot of DVDs for a price that they agree right at the start of the car boot. So immediately people have got their pitch money covered and they're in profit. Now, if you went and bought, you know, 50 PS2 games all in one job lot of someone, chances of them selling all that 50 during the course of the car boot are quite remote, aren't they? You know, they might sell 30, but they're still going to go home with some. But if you're going in with an offer that they agree, you're taking the whole lot away from them, and you're doing them a, you know, a lot of people need to chill out a little bit, I think, with resellers, because if we stop buying the stuff, there will be a lot more people going home with cars filled up with crap still.
Yeah.
I used to get a fair bit of abuse when we had the retail outlet where we bought people's computer games, consoles, CDs and DVDs. Just like CEX, people would come in, I'd give them a valuation, and the amount of times I've heard people say, "You're ripping me off," I would just stare them straight in the face and say, "I'm not ripping anybody off. I'm giving you an honest offer. You can turn it down." But 9 times out of 10, after abusing me, they'd go, "All right then, give me the 30. You told me I'm ripping you off. Don't take the valuation if you feel it's not enough. If your stuff is worth more to you than what I as a business can offer, don't take it." And they'd stand there, look all confused, and then go, "I'll have the money."
Yeah.
So, well, don't tell me I'm ripping you off then. You have the choice to walk out of the shop. Well, I'd get that week in, week out. And I've got such a thick skin these days about all of that. I mean, we actually had an incident in the clothing shop the other day. I'll probably do a video about what happened last week. But it's, yeah, being told that I'm ripping people off, it's just like water off a duck's back. It's like, it's your decision to sell to me. I'm not ripping anyone off.
Yeah. I think there's two sort of things to this, isn't there? There's when you're buying stuff from other people, you know, you're giving them a price, they either accept it or they don't. But it's like some of them think you are sort of ripping them off, and others will turn around and say, "Yeah, well, that game cost me £30 new, you know, FIFA 09." You're right, it did cost £30.
The amount of times somebody would bring in the game that was out 6 months ago, and I'd offer the going rate like a £5, and they say, "I spent 40 quid on it." Yeah, 6 months ago. Have you not seen how much it's worth second hand?
Yeah.
You know, it sold, and I'm offering you a £5. It's the market rate.
Yeah.
Out in a half. So, oh god.
I had a similar thing on Gumtree the other day where I think I messaged, I put out a wanted ad out there saying looking for video game stuff again, and there was a special edition sort of Game Boy. I can't remember which edition it was. I think it was like a special edition Legend of Zelda or something. A special edition version of it, and I thought I'd try a different technique and just say I came clean and just said, you know, look, I'm a reseller, and there needs to be some profit within this for me, you know, to make it worthwhile. And she said, "Okay, I understand. You need to make some profit." So I offered her an amount, and then she said to me, "Well, I can get more on eBay." Well, I'm like, "I've just told you, I'm reselling stuff here.
Yeah.
You know, did you not register that I'm probably going to be selling it on eBay or Amazon myself?" So it's like, well, I can't give you what eBay and Amazon are going to you're gonna get it on eBay on Amazon because that's where I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah,
So,
we get the same thing when people would bring stuff to trade in when we had the old shop, and I'd make an offer, and they'd say, well, I could sell them on eBay and get more. And I say, you're right, I think you should. And most of those people would still do the same thing and stand there and go, oh, I'll take the money anyway, because they just can't be bothered. You know what I mean? Very well saying, you can get 10 quid for this on eBay. Are you going to sit there and list it? Are you going to package it up? Are you going to send it out? Or are you going to take the 5 quid I can give you? And 9 out of 10 people would always take the cash that's in front of them.
Yeah.
That's why CEX make an absolute fortune. All the stuff they buy, you could sell for more on eBay, but people don't have the time or don't know or can't be bothered. And it's the same with boot sales. That's why people are there, because they just want quick money, and that's what we give them.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, I find it quite ironic as well, because those people that don't like the prices they're getting, you know, then say to you when you say you're a reseller, like some of them say, why don't you go get a proper job? And I'm like, well, you can't be bothered to resell what you've just got. So I just find it quite ironic, like how they can say that, but then not be bothered to do it themselves. The irony of it. Yeah.
There's plenty of those around.
Yeah, people in the comments are agreeing as well, like saying they never consider the fees and the postage packaging that's on top of it. If the item's going to sell on eBay, or whether you're going to have to wait a month down the line. What else? How much money? Yeah, no. Yeah, like everyone else in the comments agreed. Like people are greedy. They see a price on eBay for £10, and then they expect you to pay them the £10 so they can get £10 on eBay. But as people have just said in the comments, you've got to bring in the postage, packaging, and top of it, eBay fees, PayPal fee, packaging suppliers, and all stuff like that. So,
and the time to do it. Most people can't be bothered. You know, it's not. I mean, computer games do sell quickly, but you still got to invest the time to list it, etc., etc. And most people, you know, because we're all resellers, we assume everybody has an eBay account and everyone can sell on there, but most people don't. You know, we are the minority, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And long may that continue.
Yeah.
And it will, to be fair, it will.
Yeah, it's around forever, really, reselling.
As long as people don't start making videos about how to make money online, we'll all be
Yeah, I mean, what dickheads would do that? I mean, come on. I think there's always going to be. Sorry, Jeff.
No, it's alright.
I think there's always going to be, you know, an element of, you know, markets will come and go, and different products that, you know, were popular, aren't popular, and that sort of thing. But there's people freaking out. I put a link to a video that Nick watched about bolos and how it's killed a lot of markets and different niche things. But I mean, you don't know if they were going to go decline anyway and get out of popularity. So, you know, as one thing increases in popularity, something else goes down. So you've just got to move with the times, really.
Yeah, we'll go with the flow, ain't you?
Yeah.
That was an interesting video, and we've talked about this, Tom, in the past, because both of us have had, not abuse, but people commenting on our videos saying, why the hell are you telling everybody your secrets? And I'm like, well, none of this is secret, you know, and I'm happy to help people out. And, you know, I see my influence in other people's pickup videos all the time, you know. I think Lee put a video up today, and he bought Nerf guns, he bought Tweenie toys, he bought Duplo, and it's like watching myself, you know. And I dare say that my influence, there you go, Tom's showing a Nerf gun. My take on that is that my influence isn't that great. I mean, there's only a couple of thousand people that watch my videos, so I don't know. I don't know how much I could ever affect the market on stuff. But
and plus, also, you've actually got to find the stuff, haven't you? It's fine to get abuse from people saying, "Oh, why are you telling everyone about these?" But you've still got to find them, and you know. And as we said earlier, you know, it's timing, isn't it? You know, you can miss 15 Nerf guns, or you can buy 15 Nerf guns, or buy none. There won't be any there. So it's, you know, the bolos. I think, like Nick said, you know, his influence is great amongst us, but you know, UK wide, how many resellers and traders are there buying this stuff in the UK that have never heard of Nick or Tom or anyone?
Well, there's something like 13 million people in the UK alone, isn't there? And Nick's got just over 3,000 subscribers now. To say that even all 3,000 subscribers are resellers, it's still just like a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of people within the UK that ain't doing reselling or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually 65 million people in the UK now.
Oh, there you go.
all those foreigners coming in, mate. UBS comment, sorry.
That leads me on to another question, which kind of is something I've seen before, saying about people who aren't originally from the UK at car boot sales. Have you ever? I've seen it sometimes where you've seen people buy something and think, why on earth have they bought that? And they'll be buying lots of it. Say there's one guy who buys loads of shoes or that sort of thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, I know a couple of. Well, I don't know them, but I know of them. It's one guy who's an African guy who buys up kids' shoes. He will buy anything. He doesn't even look at condition. If it's the right price, he will buy the whole stall's worth. And he fills his car up, and it all goes back to Africa. So I assume he has a contact there or a way of selling it in bulk. There's another guy I know who buys every PS2 console he can find, working, not working, all the wires, all the pads, and that all goes to, I think that's Africa as well, actually. He ships it all out there. And he's got someone at the other end, I assume, or he does it himself, who sells to that market, where a PS2 is like gold dust. You know, you imagine there'll be places in third world countries where PS2 is, you know, you're a god if you have a PS2, and they will be worth good money. But there's channels that people have of getting stuff, you know, into places around the world. It's like the second-hand clothing market. Tons and tons, literally every day, is shipped off to Africa of kids' clothes. It's a massive multi-billion-pound industry now, and that's all in second-hand kids' clothes. So it all goes out of the country.
There's a lad on the Facebook group, I can't remember his name, but he does scrap clothing and just picks up scrap clothing by the key and ships it abroad. Apparently he makes quite a killing for scrap clothing.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. You say did he say he buys it in the ton or sells it by the ton?
Yeah. He literally, like, he'll just buy it by the ton, I think he said, or buy a key, something like that, and he'll send it abroad. And like, he'll pay something stupid over here, like £30, like 3 keys of scrap clothing and that, and just sell it abroad for like £100, something stupid like that. Like, these are all clothes that are torn, ripped, and literally, as it stands, scrap clothing. Like, you wouldn't want to walk around wearing it. It'd be interesting to find out where he sells, like what country he sells them to.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I've seen it with the PlayStation 2s. I mean, they annoy me because I'm always trying to get to them before them. But I think one guy said when I did a video about it, they can I think they like modify them and put hard drives in so they can be like DVD players and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the guy I mentioned who buys up all this sort of couple of generation ago hardware. When I closed our gaming store, we had a massive basement, and all of the dead consoles that had been returned or faulty stuff or stuff. Quite often people would bring in a load of stuff, and for whatever reason I couldn't buy it. Or I used to test PS2s were the worst. I used to test them. Half of them didn't work. People were trying to sell me a console that didn't work, and then I'd explain to them it doesn't work. I can't buy it off you. And most of the time they just pick it out and leave it on the counter. So I had this mountain of all these dead consoles in the basement. I took them all to a car boot sale, and this one guy bought the lot. He just bought everything. And that would have all ended up somewhere in Africa. I said to the guy, I can't guarantee anything here works, and he didn't bat an eyelid. He didn't care. Amazing.
I've just been told by 2 members it was Callum Elcombe that sold all these scrap clothing abroad and that. So
yeah, I've not seen much of him recently. I don't know what he's up to.
No, I ain't seen much of him either.
Right, well, I'm going to have to shoot off because I need to go and see my wife for at least 5 minutes today. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure. I'll catch up with you all soon, but I'm going to have to dash. Cheers, guys.
Nice to see you, Nick.
Cheers for joining us, Nick, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yes.
Bye. done?
Yeah, I think that's it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm
I'd just like to say, if someone sat through and watched this for 2 hours, fair play.
No, it's fine.
Well, when I get my new webcam, I should be a bit better off if you want to reschedule another one.
Yeah, I think it'd be good as a regular thing. There's plenty of conversations to have still, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
I've had quite a few people message me over from Facebook and in the comments as well, actually, saying that they wouldn't mind joining in on the next one. So, yeah, even if we can just organise another one with a bunch of different people. So,
Yeah.
be interesting.
I'd just like to say one thing before I go. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who voted on our video as well. I appreciate the votes. And unlucky to Carl, next time, mate.
Yeah, I'll give you both credit there, mate. That was a very, very close one. I was watching the stats on a daily basis, and the first day was absolutely crazy. Every time someone got a vote, the other person did as well.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 days later, you was in the lead by 2 votes. The day after that, Carl was in the lead by 3 votes. Then you pulled the lead again. Then you were drawing again. It was a definitely one to be running again. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to maybe set a topic or something for other people to, you know, like even an introduction video or, you know, just maybe start something short, some short videos, just to, if people are thinking about making some videos, just to sort of introduce them into it a bit, perhaps that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I just wanted to say something as well quickly. Anyone that's from the UK Reselling Group, if you've got any like tips or not tips, if you've got any what's the word I'm looking for?
Feedback.
Suggestions. Yeah, if you've got any suggestions on like how to improve the group or anything that you'd like to see going on within the group and that, let one of the admins know, and then we can discuss it amongst ourselves and try and get the ball rolling on something else. Because obviously, it's a community that's just formed out of nowhere, and it's a 5-admin team now, I think it is, with Lee Retro Pickens being the newest admin, and like obviously the group's coming up to 600 members now. So like, want to make the community something for everyone, not just for the admins or certain members and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you have any suggestions in that, let us know in that, and we'll see if we can get something going for you.
Yeah, definitely. It is big as well. It's like we got, like we was the first ones to have access to our BNI. Yeah. It was allowed into the beta, and we was the first lot allowed to. So, yeah, the reselling group's definitely up and coming, and you know, you got potential as well to get into stuff like, you know, be the first to try new things out as well. So.
Yeah, we've been approached by quite a few people now, haven't we, Wayne?
Yes, we have. Yeah, there's somebody else with the on Amazon with the clear bags, was it?
Yeah, some guy offering what was it? SEO optimized descriptions for your Amazon listings or something like that.
Yeah.
When you do FBA, you get deluged by people trying to sell you services. That's one thing I'd say. I've constantly get phone calls from people trying to offer me ways to optimize my business model and this and that. So be prepared for that.
Yeah. We turned that one. We turned that guy down. We had a look at his surface and we was like, nah, mate, it's not really something that we're willing to advertise. But yeah.
The guy that said he'd write your descriptions and that.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh well, right. Yeah, I'm gonna go and make myself a cup of coffee and have a shower and that. So yeah.
Thanks for bearing with me, guys, with the technical issues, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah. Always.
Bye.
See you later. Right. Cheers for watching, everyone. And don't forget to check out the other channel. We've got Wayne, which is True Bargain Buyers. See if I can get this right the first time. Sean Longley, which is, I do believe, just Sean Longley. Sean's gone. And Tom Flynn, which is Tom Flynn TV, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. So check them ones out, guys.
Almost 100 subs.
Yeah, I've just broke the 100 sub mark. I've just got 110 subs, I think it is. So.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyways, right.
Alright.
Catch you later, guys.
Yeah, see you guys. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
See you later. See you later. Bye.